G'day guys, today I'm going to take you through the setup for OwnCloud and I'm going to be using Portainer today to do this setup. Part of the reason I use Portainer is it uses Dockers and containers to install the software and it can be done very easily and really quite quickly, as you'll see today. So just as a quick one, what is OwnCloud? I'm really hoping if you've looked up this video, you've got some sort of an idea, but in short, it's an open source file management system. It allows you, with the app on a phone and web interfaces, to sync documents between different systems, so phone to computer, using your own home server. Think of it like OneDrive, except instead of being based on a cloud somewhere else, it's on your own system. And there are some benefits to this: security, not having to worry about stuff on an external cloud, but also for me, it means that I have scalable stuff on it, scalable data, and probably more importantly, I actually have it set up such that on my original setup, so that my NVR files and videos, as they are created, I can then access them through OwnCloud. So it gives me a means to access my NVR recordings from pretty much anywhere. Right, cracking straight into it. So Portainer, and I'll be putting up very shortly a video on how to actually install it. It's pretty simple. This one and this instance is running off a old Optimax from Dell, so micro PC, number of years old, but it's perfect for this sort of thing. So it runs my NVR, and I'll also put up a video at some stage to explain why I use Frigate NVR. Love it. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So the first step, you just come up here and hit add container. Let's call this one OwnCloud. And then in this docker.io, type OwnCloud. And then over here to search. Now the reason you do this will give you what are the different options for installation and pulling down the Docker packages. You'll notice this one here, this one here indicates it's depreciated, so use the OwnCloud-server. Just click on that one and then come down and you'll see the Docker files and links. So this is one we want, so we just copy this here and replace this OwnCloud bit with that there. So that's the first part done. Next bit, this requires a port of 880, 8080 to be linked from the host into the actual container. The next bits we want to do is just some stuff to do with the different volumes that we are talking about. So if we come in here, what we want to do is set up the volumes that we'll be linking into. Now this will be individual based upon your specific setup and where you want things saved. So I'm just going to copy them in, and what this is this is a location that I have on my server, which is where all the different recordings will go. Note, you don't have to go into this amount of detail. I'm only putting all of these in here because it makes it easy. So what I mean by that is you can just put the straight var www html in and it'll auto-populate all the others. However, I'm putting it in here for reference for you guys. If you want a bit more granularity, if you want, your config files on one volume and everything else on another, this gives you that option. So note, like I said, this actual, up here part is individual based upon your specific Ubuntu install and the directory that's going to be going into. So change that once you've worked out where you want these things saved. You can leave it all off again and just let it all work it out for you, but I prefer not to do that. One of the other things I always add in is the cloud domain, and that is just going to be the IP address to your server followed by :8080. So that should be enough right there for us to actually be able to start this thing. So now we just click deploy the container. and you'll see it'll come up and say container successfully created. Now note, for me, this is pretty quick because I've already had the package installed onto my server, and it's about a 1.1 gig file from memory. So once we've done this, now it's time to actually start playing with our server. So, okay, so now that it's running, and we can see obviously by the running flag here, what I'm going to do is just set up the actual access to those folders, just so I remember it, but you can do this step at a later date if you wish. So I am communicating with my server at the moment over SSH. I've gone into the directories, and what I want to do is now set, using the following command, the actual file permissions. So now what we can do is we can have a look, and we can actually see into these if we want to. Files, and you'll notice it's installed and given us some basic files right from the start. Now once we've confirmed this, and this is just an easy step to do now, so that the actual all of the users of your Ubuntu system will be able to directly access those files, because by default they'll be locked down to the user that the Portainer system is running with. All right, so now we go to up the top, our IP address followed by 8080, and we type in for the first time admin and then admin. Log on, and of course Windows is going to tell us that the password's compromised, because of course it is. It's admin. Once you've done this, this is the web into the base system, and now it's time to, I guess, tidy up some of those settings. You can have a look. By default, they will have given you some standard default-ish images inside here, and if we go back to files, we'll actually be able to see some of these ones in our computer. But what we want to do first, though, is come across to users. Into our admin, we want to change our admin password. All right, now that we've changed our default password from admin to something more secure, come across to settings, and then insert your email address for the admin account into here. And then once you've done that, come across to general, and we want to set up the mail server for this. Now, sorry guys, I'm going to blank this out for a second. All right, now I've got my credentials set in there. It'll say green email sent, which indicates pretty much everything is okay, and I've sent it obviously to myself. The next thing we want to do, once we've done that, is come across into here and add a user. You need an email address for this. I'm going to make this guy an admin too, and then just hit create. Now, once we've done that, the next thing that's going to happen is that the system will send out an email address to that address, inviting them to create and basically set their own password. Yeah, guys, just one little one extra that I'm going to add just so you're tracking it. If you plan to use OwnCloud from externally, obviously the first thing you'll need to do so is add a firewall rule. Obviously that's going to be individual based upon your firewalls. For mine, I've just port forward 8080 straight from the outside straight to this machine. Once you've done that, go into your OwnCloud container, hit duplicate and edit, and then come down to environment. And at the bottom, you need to add this OwnCloud trusted domains, and you want to add to that the local host, followed by a comma, no spaces, the IP address of your server, so your local IP address, and then your external IP address there at the end. Once you've done that, go back to deploy container. That will then update those changes, restart the container, and then you'll be able to successfully access this from the outside world as well. So guys, now we've got through it. As you can see, it's pretty simple. Using Portainer is a really good and quick way to install these. The longest step for you is probably just going to be your computer downloading the Docker files for it. I will be putting up a video how to install Portainer, but it in itself is pretty simple and doesn't take a heap of time in itself. But it makes all of this stuff a hell of a lot easier. Anyway, guys, if you want to see how I set up other things for my own cloud, drop us a comment and I can add them to my list of videos to be made. Otherwise, have yourselves a great day out there.